Ohayo minasan, ore wa Tacho desu. And today we're going to be doing a video taking a look at Fee, who is the new Demote that we got on the recent banner. Now, Fee is pretty good. If we take a look at her stat line, we can already see the makings of a solid unit. We've got 40 base attack, we have 45 base speed, 26 base defense, 40 base res, 37 HP. She's kind of a glass cannon, like very low defense, very low HP, but then attack and speed are through the roof, and a lot of res here, which can make use of some select skills, particularly the new skill that we got on the banner, Defense and Res Ploy 3. So we're going to be taking a look at some builds that really show off how good Fee can be. Now, before we go into more detail on Fee herself, let's actually do a little stat comparison between her and her contemporary units. So, of course, this is what Fee would look like with max investment. She has a super boon on speed, attack, and defense. So we're going for plus attack, plus speed here. The defense super boon is actually pretty solid. You could go plus defense on her, and that's not a bad idea, I don't think. So if you wanted to, then in some builds, that could actually work out pretty well. So don't sleep on the plus defense. She only gets 5 flowers because she is a recent release unit, and she has a 188 BST overall, which is fine. She unfortunately does not score in the same bin as units like Plumera and Fallen Linus, which is just about the benchmark now for Arena. If you don't score at least as high as those units or better, then I would question your usability for Arena, because like at this point, like all the free-to-play units are either at that level or above now. So unfortunately, Fee does not score quite high enough to compete with Plumera and Fallen Linus, but we did get that GHB Arion who does, so that makes up for this a little bit. Now, as we can see here, with max investment, we've got 49 attack and then 54 speed from Fee. We have 31 defense, 45 res, and 42 HP. So again, like I said, she is very much a glass cannon, which kind of sucks a little because she is a melee type of unit, so having this low HP and defense can hurt her in the melee matchups. But it's hard to argue with this combo for attack and speed. This is very strong. So now let's compare her to Tanith, who gets quite a lot more flowers being an older release. So Tanith is just washing Fee out of the water here. Look at this. 39 defense and then 48 HP. She's just way bulkier. So Tanith would be more like sustainable in melee type combat. But then we look at attack and speed, and then Fee has her beat pretty easy. 3 more points on both. So that is something to definitely consider. And then res, like out of nowhere, Fee just has this monster res stat, which can make use of a lot of select skills, as I brought up. So I do think Fee overall is better than Tanith, although you could argue that Tanith does pull off some melee things a little bit better. So Tanith is not completely dead out of the water yet. And then finally, Lapis, another really good sword merge project that is the premier option right now for melee types. She came out at the most beautiful time ever, which was right before Choose Your Legend 7. So that enables her to just get 5 more flowers, and she already had a very impressive stat line, 45 base speed. With the additional flower, it is just going to give her that 1 extra point more of attack and speed than Fee. However, their bases are actually the same. They have the same base attack and base speed. It's just that Lapis gets 1 more set of flowers to use. So there we go. Lapis also has more physical bulk. She's got more defense, and then she has more HP. So Lapis can hold her own, obviously. She's one of the better, like, frontline units you can build. She's one of the best free-to-play god units you can build. So she does have a lot of good stuff going for her there. She also has access to all the good infantry skills. So stuff like godlike reflexes, Vital Astra, Special Spiral 4, Physical Null Follow-Up, etc., etc. The list just goes on. The infantry units are in a very good spot with skills. But by that same token, so are the flying units, right? So, like, flying units have access to Soaring Guidance and Guidance 4, which are, like, must-runs for Summoner Duels, and a lot of other modes, too. They just help out so much. They also have Guard Bearing, which is a better source of DR overall, I would say, than, like, Close Call and Spurn and stuff like that, because you're getting the DR unconditionally. As long as it's the first round of combat, you get 60% DR. That's not based on a check. And then any further combats after that, you're getting 30% DR there. So Fee having guard-bearing access is very strong, of course. And being a sword flyer, she has access to Arcane Devourer. All these units do, but Arcane Devourer is one of the sickest arcane weapons. Gives you the -1 special trigger. Gives you all stats of 5. You can refine it to get further amounts of speed. Or anything else, really. You could get 4 points of defense or res, and then the 5 HP. So really nice for bulk. And then it also gives you null follow-up, and it gives you also the 40% DR on the first hit. So Arcane Devourer, just an awesome weapon for all these sword units. So now that we've done a little comparison here between Fee and some of her other, like, units that she's competing with, let's take a look now at some skills here. Let's take a look at some builds. So we're going to start with this build here. This is a Gale Forcing build, and this would be suitable for ARO or, like, any modes, really, where you would want to be Gale Forcing. So Flared Sparrow should go without saying. It's like the best thing you can run potentially on like any Gale Force build for the most part. We have Speed and Defense Near Trace here to get Kanto Rem. I was debating whether or not I wanted to give her Flow Desperation on this build, but there's actually a better build we're going to take a look at that makes really good use of Flow Desperation. So I thought we might as well go for the Near Trace, and it combos really well with Rain Snap, another really good skill that's kind of slept on. So Rain Snap would give her +1 movement, which is, in a way, that's better than Charge, because she's a flying unit, so she already ignores terrain anyway, like trench tiles and forest tiles and the like, and also mountain tiles, which is really good. And then you're also giving +1 movement to any armor type unit that you have within 2 spaces of her, or any infantry melee type unit. So with the right infantry melee type unit, you can have 2 Gale Force options, just run in and play her phase. A dancing melee type, like let's say you've got OG Azura from day 1 with Arcane Lewin and Gale Force. She can pull off a Gale Force build pretty well. There's also like Olivia and Sylvia. Both of them are really nice melee units that can Gale Force with Arcane Devourer as well. So like there's a lot of combos you can do with this to get 3 mobility on select units and have them move in and attack. So it works out pretty nicely. Then we also have Attack and Speed Solo, which should make a lot of sense here. If we're running into Gale Force, we're probably going to be solo. So the idea would be to go in and attack with your 3 movement from Snap, and then you activate Gale Force, and then you attack somebody else. You're setting up 2 rows of flame tiles, and then you Kanto Rem yourself all the way out of dodge. So it could work out pretty well. This is a solid option here for Gale Force player phasing. Then we have sort of an Omni-Tank sort of build. It's a little sus, though, with her defense being where it is. I mean, you can just go, like, plus defense, like I said. She does have the Super Boom there, and the attack doesn't really matter so much for her on a build like this. So we would go... You could go ahead and do, like, plus speed, plus defense here. Yeah, that looks a little bit more comfortable there. 47 HP and 35 defense. I'm feeling that a little bit more than the plus attack, actually. So we've got Prime 4 on this build here, so we're getting Attack and Speed up 9 and Distant Counter. If we have 4 active bonuses or more, we're getting 1 from Oath 4, and then it's easy to get a lot more on her. I've done like so many breakdowns on how to get active bonuses and easily enable Prime 4. You can get it from Plumera, the new Arcane Plumera, who has a dance skill that grants many effects. She gives like foe penalty doubler, she can give like Insta Desperation with Firestorm Dance 3. There's also like Legendary Azura who gives Null Panic. She gives +1 movement, and she gives Auto Desperation if you have Firestorm Dance on her. So there's just many units that can enable her right away to use Prime 4. So it definitely works out pretty well here. Arcane Devourer combos nicely with Iceberg, because with the -1 and the special acceleration, we just proc Iceberg on every counter hit, assuming no guard effects or like tempo effects are in play. So it's pretty consistent there. Guard Bearing, of course, for the easy access DR. And then Attack and Speed form, because we're probably going to keep her close by to a lot of units. You don't want to stray too far when you have Prime 4, because you want to be within a good distance of your allies that can provide a bunch of start-of-turn bonuses. So having form and like staying close by to the pack with Prime 4 is probably what you want to do in most situations. So that's why we're going for that there. So this could work out. This is not too bad for like an Omni-Tank sort of build. No sustain though, but it's not so hard to outsource sustain on like other units. Like Legendary Guinevere, Saline, and also Gatekeeper can all grant a lot of passive healing if you need. So those are options. Okay, so here is the build. This one is like where I think Fee has a lot of value in, because her res stat, like we already brought up, is very good. So even though she's taking -4 defense and res from this Ninja Katana, it's still giving her speed up 4, and it gives her a brave attack with a 9 might weapon. Would have been nice if it had more might than that, but we'll take what we can get. So with 41 res, she's still able to make good use of Def Res Ploy 3. It's giving her +5 res for the check, so essentially she's got 46 res here. And that should be more than enough to win against most things. And then you're going to go ahead and inflict defense and res -7 on enemies in 3 columns and 3 rows, while also inflicting exposure, which is cracked when you have a brave weapon, with flow desperation as well, so we can guarantee the quad. We get half a null follow-up, and then we're hitting 4 in a row. And then with Ruptured Sky, if you've got like a Leer support on her too to turn off DR, then she's proccing Ruptured Sky, and she's breaking through walls. Like, this is a really nice wall breaker build. Flared Sparrow as well is also able to give us a lot of true damage on the first hit, and then if you can attack something on a flame tile already, that would be 14 true damage at the start of combat, which could be really good too. But for the most part, the +7 is already good enough, and then Blade Session just to maximize deeps. So this is the DPS build. This is the Fee that will be melting your enemies' faces. And then finally, we have more of a, like, Summoner Duels kind of, like, frontline build here. So we got Pavis. I'm actually going to go ahead and go to the plus defense once again. I do feel like the defense super boon is actually super clutch on her. And it's not like we really care too much about attack here. The focus with this kind of build would be to just live. Like, you know that meme, I lived, bitch? Where the guy is in the hospital and he's got, like, the breathing machine on himself. And he texted his daughter, he's like, I lived, bitch. Yeah. So, like, that is the energy we're going for with this here. So, Arcane Devourer works really nicely with Pavis and also, like, godlike reflexes. But we can't have that. So, we go for Pavis here. We got Kestrel Stance for the attack and speed and the inflicting of guard. But whenever we get Firestorm Boost 3, which gives attack and speed up 7, inflicts guard, and it's dual phase, that would be better. So, I mean, I'm just waiting for more of those gold border boost skills whenever they decide to add those. Then we got Guard Bearing, of course, once again for more DR. I mean, Gambit could work on her with Arcane Devourer, but you would have to run Ether, and that's a little bit questionable. Even with the special acceleration and the -1, I think I'd rather still go for, like, lower hit cooldown specials with her. So, Guard Bearing it is. Then we have Guidance 4, of course, to allow allies to jump in and then attack and speed form. So, those are just a couple of builds, a couple of ways you may want to play your Fee if you decide to build her. I do think she is a very worthwhile investment. She is certainly able to compete with the best of them, as we saw here, with already, like, 2 of the best sword merge projects you can go for, and Fee does have advantages over both of them. So, there you guys go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. What do you think of Fee, our brand new Demote hero? I was going to do a builds video for Patty as well, but it's hard to really say what skills we want to give her yet, because we don't know what the Arcane Dagger is going to do. So I want to at least hold off until we get more different arcane weapons for different weapon types before I do, like, build videos for all the other weapon types I haven't covered. I've done swords, axes, lances, red tomes, and blue tomes, and without the other arcane weapons, it's hard to really do build videos for the other weapon types. So we're going to cool our jets. We're going to wait for the rest of that stuff to come out first before we do the other stuff. But that's all for today's video, guys. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Let me know if you plan to build up your Fee. And that's going to wrap us up for now. So this is your boy Tacho signing out. Take care, and I'll catch y'all again on the flip side.